All right, here we are. First episode of Unite the States of America through sports. And I am here with my guest and really great friend, TJ Jones.
You're traveling down the rapids, don't know what's around the bend. You ain't slept in 3 days straight, but you're pushing against the wind. Gotta find a place to stay tonight, but it's hard when there's no help. You can't turn around, but it's alright, cause you did this to yourself. There's better days coming, but when I don't know. Now feels like a hard time, but it's all part of the show. So pick yourself up, rearrange, know that only you can change yesterday's tomorrow's cousin. There's better days coming.
TJ, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. How you doing?
Good. Here we are in beautiful Fort Myers, Florida. Amazing, honestly. And we were back home right now. It'd probably be about 10 degrees hotter.
Right.
It would not be good. We sweat a little bit today. It wasn't too bad, but it's humid here because there's water on both sides of this peninsula they call Florida, and but it's beautiful. We're in a really nice house right now. We got a lot of the boys that are staying here with us. They got a swimming pool in the background that they can hang out in, and of course they got the dock down there that they've been fishing off of, and haven't really been catching any fish. And I'm gonna probably say because they've had so much rain here lately, so a lot of the salt water's got a lot of fresh water in it. But regardless, beautiful Florida.
Yes, it is. I love Florida. Yes.
TJ, how many times you been down here in Florida?
Oh man, I want to say baseball related or anytime.
Anytime.
Anytime, probably about 5 or 6 times.
Yeah,
maybe 6 times.
And we just happened to be in Fort Myers. And who's from Fort Myers, TJ?
Fort Myers.
Fort Myers, sorry. Who's from Fort Myers?
My mentor, buddy, great friend, brother, Mr. Deion Sanders.
Mr. Sanders, I'm sure some of y'all.
Coach Prime.
Probably some of y'all know Coach Prime. They probably at least know his name.
Coach Prime.
Especially this week.
Yes.
Especially this week. We've had it.
He ain't hard to find.
It's kind of been interesting. I want to, before we go any further, what I want to do is give TJ the mic as far as his background, especially in the last 10 to 12 years, what he's done, especially with Truth Baseball and Prime, and his background with, he started with Deion Sanders and those type of things. I guess honestly, the first question is, how did you meet him?
So I met Coach Prime. We were in McKinney at a baseball tournament, and a buddy of mine had called me and said he had trials for Truth, and it was a football organization. And I missed the tryouts. I was kind of upset about it. So my son played baseball as well. So there was a baseball tournament, and I was looking at the center fielder. I was like, man, that center fielder's good. I want him. And there was a gentleman in the bullpen sitting by himself with his back to me. So I was like, excuse me, sir, how old is this team? And he turned around and it was Deion Sanders, right? So he told me, and I was like, oh man, it's Deion. I was starstruck. Shook his hand, told him I had a son, that could play in this football program. He was like, well, bring him on next year. We're gonna have tryouts every year. Well, I knew 2 people that were already there. So after that season, I took my son to watch the game. He said, Dad, I want to play here. I want to play for the Truth. And at the time, I was coaching him in football. So I was like, why do you want to play for the Truth? And his response was, because I love their uniforms, Dad. So, me being the dad that I am, I'm gonna make stuff happen for them. So we went. They had a training um, Tuesdays and Thursdays, I believe, in Lancaster, which is 45 minutes away after the football season. So I took them to the training. Prom loved them, and I had a T-shirt company at the time, just trying to make it, And I went up to him with a business card, those paper business cards that you have on the computer that you print on the computer,
ones
and they have the dots around it, and you cut them. Yeah, and you cut them. Yes.
Yep.
So I go up to him,
Yep.
and I hand him my business card, and he's looking at it, and I'm thinking, I'm not thinking nothing, and I'm pretty sure he didn't. He was like, we take care of you. He looked at it, and honest, I started doing their T-shirts and stuff. Well, we were having a World Series at the time. It was about World Series baseball coming up at the end, and our sons were 10U. And I said, hey, man, we need another player. Why don't you have Shiloh come play for us? And he was like, man, you know what? We just might do that. So I was a dad at the time. I didn't want to coach. So they came and guest played, and the assistant coach, you know how the World Series, and he couldn't make it because of work, and I was there, so he was like, "Hey, I need you to come fill in at first." Like, all right, so I'm hitting Fungo, and they're looking like, man, he can swing, and they seen our sons playing with each other, and they loved it, and they were like, "Hey, man, y'all want to start Truth Baseball?" I'm like, yeah. So we started up Truth Baseball, and that was 16 years ago. And from then we had until our kids were 12, or no, sorry, until our kids were 14. We had them from they were 9U, 10U, all the way to 14U. Our catcher is actually a wide receiver for the Baltimore Ravens, number 16, Trayson Wallace. He was our catcher. His brother was, or Tylen Wallace, I'm sorry. Trayson is his twin brother. Trayson is a coach at Oklahoma State as well. So we had a really good team, but we had to kind of dismantle that team because they were all football players. And that's when 7-on-7 came, so we dismantled that team, but we still had a lot of kids under us. So we still kind of ran the Truth. He started prom prep. We ended up having a great relationship. Started prom prep. I went up there for a little bit. And then when he went to AAA, I was his head baseball coach at AAA. And then after that, we went to Trinity Christian. I was his baseball coach at Trinity Christian. And then from then on, when he went to Jackson, he gave me his blessings to start Truth back up because he knew that I was going to carry on the tradition of it as far as structure and discipline. And that's just how it went about. We're brothers.
The funny thing is of course a lot of you viewers know that I'll put out there where we are right now in the week. Yesterday, Colorado lost to Oregon pretty heavily on the score. They were 3-0 going into that game, and there becomes a point to where you start questioning the way some of the fans are acting. You start questioning just who really wants to see people succeed and who really don't. But one of the things that I hear a lot of the questioning that I hear a lot of is what Deion's motive is, who he is, what he's doing, those type of things. And it's very frustrating from what I know of Coach Prime, from the time I've spent around him, and things of that nature. It's very frustrating for me personally, just because knowing Coach Prime's
I'm
demeanor.
Stick up for my brother, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've watched. I'll tell everybody the story real quick, and everybody close to me knows this story. I don't. First of all, so y'all know, I don't get starstruck. I mean, first time I met Nolan Ryan, probably a little bit, but I don't get starstruck. And the reason why I don't get starstruck because I hold myself with the mindset of I'm a star.
Yes.
I'm just putting it out there, and I'm not. By no means do I am I on TV every day. That's not how it works. But the mindset is to be successful. First of all, you need to surround yourself with successful people. Second of all, if you don't feel successful in what you're doing, then either you're not doing it right or you're trying to do the wrong thing. Find the right thing to be successful in and go do it, right? And so I don't fool around with things I know I'm not going to be successful in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
That's why I
saying?
don't play golf.
Yeah, I know.
Because I know I'm not going to win.
I'm not going to win golf. I'm not going to be a good golfer.
You got to believe in yourself as well, man. If you don't believe in yourself, no, who else is going to believe in you?
Right.
And if you don't follow your dreams, you're not doing your actions. Like, the reason why he gave me full throttle is because he knows I've tried everything. I've left baseball, but I'll always come back to baseball. So it's my calling,
Right.
to help people get to the next level. I was that kid that was hard-headed, didn't want to listen, bad grades, and for years, I don't want to call them nightmares, but I would wake up in the middle of the night, fixing to be up to bat, and the pitch is coming, and I wake up in the major league game, and that happened all the time. So that's a form of regret,
Yeah.
And I don't want these kids to have that. It's painful to go through, especially if you know.
So the funny thing is about Coach Prime, the funny thing is that when you meet them for the first time, if you're not someone that has the mindset of I just want an autograph, if you're someone that has the mindset of I'm passionate about what I'm doing, I'm bought into what he's doing, I love what he's doing on a whole nother level. Not he's going to go, not the mindset that he's going to go to Jackson and upturn and change the whole dynamics of HBCUs. It doesn't work like that. It just don't happen overnight, especially when you get in, you get your feet set like he did and find out that part of the broken system is because the finances don't go to where they're supposed to.
Yes.
And if you can't touch those certain things by hand and fix them yourself, and you're trying to funnel the money in to do it, but you can't physically put your hands on it, there becomes a point to where you don't want to be part of it anymore because
It's a lie.
It's a lot. It's too much to do when you know I've been working, and that's why I haven't left what I've done.
Mm-hmm.
I've been working for this group of kids.
Mm-hmm.
This is a group of kids that I know every day I show up at practice. They show up, they smile. A lot of them can't afford what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
We're going above and beyond for them. And I look at this group of kids, and they want it so bad. Most of them want it so bad that I say, if I try to go out this way and that way and this way to try to help kids, and I can't, or it doesn't work out the way it is, or the money's not going where it's supposed to be, I neglect this group. And who am I going to help? The one that wants the help, right? I know that there's others that need the help, but I open the door for them to come into what we're doing, right? And so I watched Coach Prime in this situation in Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
And the craziest thing is I'm sitting here with you, I've known you for a while, for many years.
Mm-hmm.
And the crazy thing is watching you say just a minute ago, your background, the things that you struggled with, the success that you had and success you didn't have, and what would have made you, what makes your drive, what creates your drive now to help succeed, these kids succeed.
It was my failure.
The hardest thing not the hardest thing, but the coolest thing or the most interesting thing to me listening to you hear that is going, your brother Deion saw that in you too.
Yes.
And that all you people that are knocking him right now, you don't understand that literally the people around him, he don't use to make money off of them. He don't use them. What he does is he puts the right people around him that has the same goal, same mindset that he does to succeed, but to allow those or to help those around, like the kids mainly, to help them succeed the most. And the reason why he does that is because a couple things. He when he was raised with his mother running an orphanage.
Yes, she had an orphan. She was an
And
orphan mother.
so she helped
A foster kid. Yes,
foster kids. And so she helped foster kids. And so he got the opportunity to see what it was like to give and be happy to give. And then as time went on, he realized, and we all of us that do this for what we do right now, all the kids, everything that we do for the kids, when we're around the kids, we eventually have the mindset, even if we don't start it that way, we eventually have the mindset of, I do this for the love of watching that kid smile when he signs his commitment,
yes,
when he gets his first base hit, when he strikes out somebody for the first time, when he catches his first fly ball, when he hits his first home run,
when he achieves his dreams,
when he achieves his dreams,
and it's step by step,
and when he walks across the stage at
yes,
high school to graduate,
that's achieving a dream.
when he walks across the stage at college to graduate,
Achieving a dream,
and when he signs his first pro contract,
achieving a dream,
achieving the dream. Those things are why we do this. And so, sitting here with you, I hear you say that a while ago about you learning from your failures and trying to help kids succeed.
yes,
And so for him, I believe that all of us that are around him, he sees that opportunity to have somebody that is as hungry as he is to make kids successful. And so we become part of what he's doing,
yes,
right?
yes.
Especially with the Truth program.
You can't hide. You can't fake passion.
No.
You can say you're passionate all you want to, but that's you can't fake it.
No.
That's one thing. If you love it, you love it. If it's your calling, it's your calling. That's something you can't fake.
Correct.
Because after a while, you'll be out of it. If you're faking it, you're going to be out of it. If it's your calling, you're in it.
Yeah.
Like we're in it. We're in it 10 toes. We do this for a living. We're in this thing 10 toes. We can be doing other things, making more money, but that ain't our calling.
We're going to take a few minutes breaks, pay the bills. That's what we call it. And then we'll be back. Stay tuned. Looking for insurance? Schultz Agency is your trusted advisor for all things insurance in Texas. This is a family-owned small business specializing in life, commercial, and personal lines insurance options, and they also offer Medicare. Schultz Agency is licensed throughout the state of Texas and is appointed with Farmers and many other great carriers. Call or text 512-540-8700. Schultz Agency will always shoot you straight and will never recommend anything that the owners themselves wouldn't do. Again, 512-540-8700, and tell them James Bill sent you by. Okay, we're back, and hopefully you didn't just turn this off for a little bit and then come back to watch this and just skip my commercials. I got to pay the bills somehow around here, right? And anyways, we got some good commercials in there, some good people that we've worked with who's helped us out and thrown a couple bucks for us so we can do what we need to and pay for this swimming pool behind us. No, I'm just playing. This is our trip. We're back. I'm back here with TJ Jones of Truth Baseball, located in Dallas-Fort Worth area. I've been involved with TJ for going on about 7 or 8 years. Yeah, about 8 years now. We've been involved with each other somehow or another, helping back and forth with placing kids in college, helping back and forth with getting kids seen.
How do we get introduced?
That's a good question. I feel like the first time that you and I met, we were...
How do you think I got your number?
I think through Mark Sloat. Get it through Deion?
Yes, sir.
I remember. Y'all had a player. Y'all had a catcher.
Yes.
That needed to be...
No, it was before then.
Was it before that?
Yes, he met y'all. We met y'all when
Richland
we were still doing the youth.
We were at Richland.
And y'all were somewhere else.
Yeah.
And Prom liked how you coached. You were bunting. You were playing truth ball. And that's what we did. We bunt, we steal, and you had to, your son, your nephew, and he liked your style. I believe y'all exchanged numbers at that time.
Yeah, we
because
did.
he's the one who gave me your number and said, "Hey, man, I need you to get with him," and we y'all get together and work it. So
Yeah, I
that
remember we was at Eastfield Junior College.
because you hooked me up with Slope.
Yeah, with Mark.
Yeah,
So y'all could set up the
the
tournament.
tournament.
Yeah,
Yes,
down in
when we
Austin.
were at AAA.
Yep.
Yeah, because that was our first varsity year. We were at AAA then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
In Oak Cliff. Yeah.
I was at Eastfield Community College. It's Dallas Eastfield or something now. They've changed all of it now, but we was at Eastfield, and my shortstop at the time was Joe Sanchez.
Okay.
Was my shortstop, and there was he slid into second base, and I don't remember what happened. Hit his head or something, and I think he hit his head. And I was in the third base box, and Prime was in the dugout, and we were communicating back and forth. And Justin, my brother, who's also a college coach, was with us. And Coach Prime jumped the railing for the dugout, just hopped it, and sprinted out there. And I'm on the run. I dang sure wasn't as fat then as I am now. And Justin, who was fresh out of college, was pretty athletic. And we sprinted out there to the bag. And by the time him and I got out there, he had already had a whole conversation with this kid. He's just like a deer, just he was standing there beside him, and the kid never met him before. And the kid said he opened his eyes and thought God was standing over him.
I remember that. I remember you told me that story, man.
I remember that. I said, yeah. And so we were standing back over there a little bit later, and Justin looked at me and he said, "Did you see how fast he was?" I said, "Yeah, man, he's still fast,
and
man."
his foot was dislocated.
Yeah, he's like yeah, and so yeah, it was impressive. And again, I've never been a starstruck guy, and so what the thing that I took from him was I didn't feed from him. And I'll tell the story because I tell the story a lot, and he'll vouch for me telling the story. One of the first times I met him was the thing that changed everything for me. Those of you that know me, I'm not a Dallas Cowboys fan. I've never been a Dallas Cowboys fan, right? I'm from Houston. I can't be a Dallas Cowboys fan, right?
You got some Steeler blood in you too.
Oh yeah, yeah, I'm black and gold. And so but the big thing is well, I'm black and gold because Houston could never beat them. But anyways, there became this point to where we were at a game. I think this was at Richland, and Coach Prime was in the third base box. I was in the third base dugout, and this lady from the other team was standing outside the fence, and she just kept on, "Coach, can I get your autograph? Deion, can I get your autograph? Deion, can I get your autograph?" She kept on. Now, if you have never seen Deion Sanders coach, nothing around him matters. He is 100% focused on what he's doing. If the day's not going good, you're going to know the day's not going good, right? But if the day's going good, he's going to let you know that too, right? And if you don't succeed, even 2 or 3 times, he's not going to be excited about you not succeeding, but he's going to put his arm around you and love you, right? And because the saying,
if you want it.
Yeah, if you want it. If you
can't.
Want it, yeah.
It's one thing that he taught me. Like I said, let me go back. Let me go back just a little bit.
Yeah.
Deion Sanders, I didn't know him. I'm just saying, Deion Sanders he was my idol. So this is a guy, like, I looked up to him. I like the Falcons because of him. I was a Steeler fan, but I liked the Cowboys a little bit because of him. Everywhere he went, loved the Braves because of him. I just liked his swag. I liked what he was about. And he went from idol of mine to a friend to a brother. That's a dream. Like, no, people don't get that opportunity. The reason why I say the first time I met him was in McKinney, that's when I introduced myself. The first time I seen him was at the Texas Ranger game. The Cincinnati Reds were playing Texas Rangers. I was working at the ballpark in Arlington on the grounds crew, so I was under the tunnel, and Ken Griffey was playing for the Reds. Michael Irvin and Deion came to the game, and I go right up to Michael Irvin. Hey, how you doing, man? Go up to Ken Griffey. Hey, man, how you doing? And looked at Prime like this and just walked off because I was like,
yeah,
and I was like kicking myself in the butt, man, because I was like, I'm never gonna get that opportunity again, to meet my hero, my idol, and now he's my brother.
Yeah,
and it wasn't because I've never asked him for an autograph. I've pretty much never asked for anything. I just treat him real, and he just knows how real I am and the passion that I have. And man, he just took me in his wing.
And see, that was the eye opener for me, was the lady that just kept saying she wanted an autograph. I watched him go and pull his earbuds out and put his earbuds in and came to third. At first, I thought it was awkward because it looked like he's on the phone or he's, listening to music or something while he's coaching third base. But I knew what it was. The lady just kept on. And so, game's over. He never said nothing to her. Game's over. There's people walking up. He just had his conversation. Just talked to the team. People walking up. He's finishing up conversation with people. People are handing them things to sign. He's not turning it away. He's signing it, hands it to him while he's talking to somebody else. The lady comes up and says, "Oh, Deion, can I get your autograph?" And he says, I would have gave you my autograph, but I'm here today for these kids. When I'm on that baseball field, I'm not here for that. I am not here for me. That's what he said.
Yeah.
And from that statement forward, I thought, man, I love this dude. This dude is legit.
He don't have to do what he does.
He don't have to do
He's Coach
that.
Prime. He's Prime. Well, actually, before Coach Prime, he's Prime. He's Prime time. He's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
He has a gold jacket. Greatest of he's not doing it for the money. He's not broke.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's his calling as well to help other people. That's his passion. So like you say, and then he's out there to be a coach.
Right.
He takes himself out of complete. He's not Prime time. He's Coach Prime. It's two different people.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's what mode he's in. And a lot of times, the parents will use the little kids to go up and, hey, Coach, can you give me an autograph? And he would just tell them, "It's not for you. It's for your parents, because you don't even know me. You didn't even watch me play.
Yeah,
it's for your parents." So, and he just didn't like the distraction of, or he don't like the distraction of people thinking he's Prime time and not Coach Prime.
I honestly think that a lot of people don't understand what you're saying, and he literally, with his name, could grab guys that could make millions off of them, millions of dollars off of his name, and make him money, and he never have to work a day, never have to spend time on making sure that other kids are being focused on, never spend time on making sure that his other coaches are coming with him to make bigger money than what they did at the other school. He would never have to do any of that. He could go play on his ranch, hang out in a swimming pool that's bigger than his house in his backyard, fish every day and post videos of him catching bass. He could do all of that and never have to worry about anything else, because there's enough people out there that would know how to utilize his name to make money.
Yes.
Like the NCAA. We're going to take a break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to have a little bit of conversation about that too. Stay tuned while I feed this belly.
You tired of the lies, conspiracies, and propaganda the deep state uses to program you? Does the thought of empirical corporate globalism make you paranoid? Then Paranoid America is your source for alternative news. Listen to Paranoid America weekly on the GCN Radio Network or wherever podcasts are available. Your filter for mainstream fake news and disinformation. Featuring world news, the paranormal, cover-ups, UFOs, cosmic disclosure, secret space programs, and the parapolitical soup of today's global theater. If you aren't paranoid, you aren't listening. The Paranoid America Radio Show.
Okay, back from a commercial, paying the bills. In the meantime, if you notice, our backdrop might be a little bit different than it was just a little earlier. That's because sunny Florida went to rainy Florida. And back behind us, you can see the extremely dark clouds in the background. And I guess that's what you get with baseball here in this state.
Yeah.
A little bit of rain, a little bit of water. And I mean, again, I started this whole conversation off, the whole podcast off with, make my adjustment here. Sorry. I started my whole podcast off with that this thing is surrounded by water, this big peninsula called Florida. And it rains. It happens just to rain. So we left off the last segment with talking about NCAA.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask this question. There's a couple questions I'm asking here with you, TJ. And one of the biggest questions that I have is being around Coach Prime as much as you was around Coach Prime.
Sir.
He's a money guy. He does look at finances, and he makes sure. The one thing I've seen with him is that he don't use his money necessarily to fund everything. He goes and makes sure that other people are helping to fund things.
Sometimes. So man, our fee was $250, and we played every weekend, and he was doing that, when our kids were younger.
Yeah.
So I mean, it just, I guess sometimes I don't know his pockets like that. But I believe sometimes. I mean, of course, yeah, you're gonna have your backing. You're gonna have people that's behind you. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that a lot of people have to understand with Coach Prime that I think a lot of people think that because he's the stature that he is,
mm-hmm.
that he's a multi-million-dollar rich individual.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that he has money,
mm-hmm.
but I would also say that he is extremely proud of his children.
Yes.
And he takes care of his children. Now,
Great
I know
father.
for a fact he don't just buy his kids everything.
I hope no. He didn't raise no Huxtables.
No. And the reason why I know that because his son had a used Range Rover and wasn't happy. So, but he's not that. He makes them work for what they want.
Yes.
And I can tell you now, if Shallow or Shador,
Bossy,
or any of them, if at this
DeAndre,
point right now,
Bucky,
if they weren't working for what they had, he wouldn't just give it to them.
No. I don't believe so. Like I said, I don't know his pockets like that. But he's just a normal guy.
So that takes me to the reason why I asked that question is because there becomes this point of, I have people all the time that say, when he was at Jackson,
mm-hmm.
he left out of there so easy. Like almost as though their point is that he didn't care to leave out there. Like it wasn't a big deal for him to leave there. You've been with him long now.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need to have a conversation about what all happened at Jackson. You can speculate all you want as a fan. You can speculate all you want as a hater. You can speculate any way that you want and think what you think happened over there. The truth is going to come right now. Did Deion Sanders, in your eyes, you've been around a long time, know him enough, in your eyes, did he leave there for the money, or did he leave there because he knew that he was going to help some people somewhere else?
My personal opinion, in my eyes, every plan has a start and a finish, right? If you want to succeed, I mean, there's stepping stones you have to take. He did not leave for the money. I don't personally believe, because he was an NFL analyst. You know, NFL Network. He could have went to MLB Network if he wanted to, and did both things like he played. So the money thing, that's not what he's about. But to answer your question, no, it was not for the money. It was to elevate his coaches, his coaching staff. I believe it was to elevate his players, because it's no secret. Let's just get down to the nitty gritty. There's no secret about it that the HBCU's facilities are different than Power 5 facilities, right? So yes, there's talent at HBCU. This is how I see it personally. There's a lot of talent at HBCU, maybe NFL talent, but talent doesn't get you there alone. So when you're going to get drafted and you don't have the facilities that Power 5s have, you may have the same talent as someone else, but it's going to take you a long time to build up your protein, all the stuff that you didn't get at that Power 5 that they did, as far as your body and your strength, to strengthen your body. Those are grown men in the NFL. So now I feel like, since HBCUs doesn't have the facilities to take your kid to get you to the, because not only talent alone won't get you there, right? So if you have to get stronger, you have to get faster. And if you don't have the facilities to do that with, you're behind the 8 ball. So now it's kind of like you're redshirt.
Yeah.
When you get to the NFL, because yes, you have skills, but it's going to take you so much longer to get where these guys are physically. Because of the facilities and the protein. They powerful. They take care of you. They're eating steak. You know what I mean? They're eating 3-4 times a day. They have protein shakes right after lunch, right after breakfast, lunch. They're really taking care of their body. To where at HBCU, they don't have the resources.
Right.
So I mean,
nor does anyone want to put their funding out there for it, because there's no limelight for them to get back what their investment is. In other words, NCAA, the NIL, all of these things that, obviously we got Shador's right now making over $5 million in NIL right now.
that
Shiloh's making probably over $1 million easy, right? So you got these guys that are making money, and we all know that they're making money, but NCAA and the college are making money off of it. That was the whole argument in NIL to begin with, is that the colleges, the alumni, is making so much money off of it.
And the kids wasn't making anything. And that's not right. And they can't get full-time jobs.
No.
Your full-time job is to play whatever sport you're there for, a scholarship.
That's right.
So
they're limited on scholarships. You can't scholarship everybody.
And then how are you going to get money for food? You still got to have, your parents have to have money to give. Like when I was in school, I got $25 a month.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you can't live off that.
Right.
The cafeterias close at a certain time, dinner's over with at a certain time. You get hungry about 9 or 10.
Yeah.
You're going to have to need more money, so that's why I'm glad they opened that up, because that I feel like that helps inspire and get kids into school and let them finish to and through school, because now they don't have to leave just to make money.
Well, then you got these schools like Oregon State. You're going to get the best of the best because they're winning nonstop. They got the best facilities. They have phenomenal fans. It's one of those things where, the coach said, we're playing this week not for clicks but for wins, and it's like,
but
let me just say with the clicks and the wins things, you don't need the clicks per se because you already have them. You already have your fan base. You already have your fan following. You already have the NIL and support. You already have Oregon State's on the front cover, all kinds of stuff. They're winning. They're doing the things that they're supposed to be doing, right? So is Alabama. So is a lot of the other big
Power
colleges,
yes.
right? You look back at Colorado. Colorado was 1-10 last year. They weren't selling tickets.
Mm-hmm.
They're not a powerhouse. Not in a long time. They used to be decent. Not in a long time have they won.
Yes.
So in order for you to bring in that coaching staff, and in order for you to go after any of these guys that are going to be drawn in at these other colleges like Oregon and Florida State and Florida and Alabama and all these other ones with the NIL money,
mm-hmm.
the clicks are important.
I mean, Oregon had to start somewhere.
Everybody had to start somewhere.
Oregon wasn't good when we were in school in the 90s.
No, but Oregon didn't have TikTok and
Oregon started
Facebook
whenever they had
Instagram.
Oregon started being good when they started getting those uniforms.
Right.
Whenever they came out with that bright yellow and fluorescent yellow was the fad back then, that's when they got popular. They wasn't good before that.
No.
They had to start to do this. So that's why I don't understand why you would make that statement, because your school had to start somewhere too. Y'all, it ain't like y'all have always been Texas, Alabama, or Oklahoma.
Right.
Or Florida State. They have not been a powerhouse for that long.
But when you look at when it's all said and done, the frustration I have as not just a fan but a friend of Deion's, and understanding, Coach Prime's true demeanor, what he's about, his program, his backing, his coaches that have been around him, the players that he focuses on, not going after payment from kids, but actually focusing on kids that have the ability to play the game. What I look at when I see everything that's going on right now, I see the guys on the sidelines, the rappers, the actors, everyone that's either friends with him, knows him, or has an opportunity to make money off of him. I see the commercials left and right, the ads that are popping up. We're watching a ball game yesterday at Buffalo Wild Wings. There's a big TV screen. We're watching a game here. There's 2 TVs and 2 TVs on the side. And literally, while the game's on and there's different networks on, there's funny. Deion Sanders commercials all over the place. Money, money, money. And everybody goes, well, that's Deion made money there and Deion made money there. But y'all fail to understand, this commercial was to pay for that pizza. This commercial was to pay for the insurance. This commercial was Aflac. This commercial, they're making money too. Nobody's going to turn that down. No. Nobody's going to turn that down. But the NIL money that's going to the players, NCAA makes money off of it. The school makes money off of it. People make money off of this, off of the players. They're making a ton of money off of the players. The tickets are being sold when they go. These games are being sold out at a Colorado school that was 1-10 last year. They're being sold out. Guess who else makes money? The local hotels,
right?
The local bars, the local restaurants, the local everything. Most of these towns now, you got to have an app to pay to park somewhere. Somebody's making money off of that parking that's filling up that town. Walmart, right up the road, that sells Colorado t-shirts, making money. The vendors making money. People standing outside selling t-shirts, making money. Everybody's making money off of this. But yet, the haters come out and they want to say, this is Deion. Deion should lose. He lost a game. He lost a game. He's not going to lose. He's not going to win a championship. He never said he was going to win a championship.
Who? You're a competitive guy. Have you ever went into something saying you're going to lose?
No, but I've never heard him say,
No, he never said that.
I'm going to win.
But he didn't. He's not going in it to lose.
No.
So I mean, people just misconstrued it. I believe
It
because he said our goal is to win. The goal is to win it. Whose goal isn't? If you're in college football and you're a Power 5 and your goal is not to win the national championship, why are you there? You're wasting people's time. You're wasting people's money.
Bro, he has sweat more success than anybody. Most of these people that are talking about. And that's the thing that drives me nuts. This man is way more successful and has done it on the right path. I don't care what he says. I don't care how he talks. I don't care if people think he's being high on a pole. I don't care what they think, right? I really don't care, because the truth of the matter, the truth, okay, is plain and simple. Every crumb that he's dropped behind him has been left for somebody to get better.
Yeah.
And I've seen it. You've been with him a long time, and you've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
You wear his hat. Truth program.
Mm-hmm.
You oversee the baseball program.
Mm-hmm.
We're on the field today. He's talking to left and right to other coaches in the other program about their players.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about success with their players. You're talking about colleges with their players. You're selling
That's what I do.
the Truth program, understanding that one day those kids may have the same opportunity that Deion Sanders has to be the next, not maybe multi-sport, but the next successful person in a sport, and maybe later down the road be the name that he is.
Yes, and I'm not trying to sell anything. I'm just trying to tell the truth.
Right.
And we really care about the kids. We really want the kids to go to college. We're trying to develop the kids. We're trying to take them to a whole nother level. So, I mean, it's just like what's going on now. It happens with the truth. We have haters. Deion, what's he got to do? He's a football player. What does he have to do with baseball? Well, do y'all know he hit 5-something in the World Series and started for the Atlanta Braves in the World Series? Played for the Yankees. Played for the Padres. You know, I believe he played for the Giants. Played for like 5 different major league teams. Cincinnati Reds. You know, like he was in there. So I guess the same people that are saying he's doing this for publicity stunt, I guess he was playing baseball for publicity stunt too.
Right.
You know, I mean, you're going to get haters everywhere. Even he's not even around because, of course, he's doing his college thing. But people still hating on the truth.
Yeah.
You have guys that have Deion has known. Coach Prime. We have known since they were kids. Since they were 5 years old, and we took them boys to Atlanta. You know, he took them to Florida. We took them to Canton, Ohio. We took them to Louisville, Kentucky. He took us to the Hall of Fame. We got parents that he brought us in and let us experience that are still talking about.
Yeah.
You know, and he helped our kids. How could you? I just don't understand that. You know, I really don't.
And he's got Under Armour. Had Under Armour for a while.
Under Armour. Well, who was Under Armour before he got there?
Yeah. But he has all these different vendors that can help him out. Listen, those vendors, Coach Prime's not going out and saying, I need you to give me $1 million check for this. What he's doing is he's saying, I would appreciate if you help these kids out. And the money that those programs, look at PG. We literally walked into Dick's Sporting Goods here in Fort Myers, and PG covers half of their sporting goods store with clothing and hats and batting jackets and everything else. PG has. Where's the PG program that helps minority or just inner city kids in general?
That's a good question.
Where's it at?
That's a great question.
Where is any of these things that are out there? Any of these programs that are out there like that? You don't see that. There's a couple.
I don't.
I'll give a pat on the back to West Hall. out of
Yes.
Texas.
Yes.
Wes
Shout out to
Hall,
Wes.
yeah.
Wes, you the dope.
Straight to
Yes.
Wes Hall.
Yes. Thank you, Wes.
He does his events, V Tour, 5 Tour up in North Texas.
Yeah.
He does those events with us, and he gives Truth Program a price break, and which is great because it allows us to pick up kids that goes in, allows you to pick up kids that goes in, and
yeah, mind you, we don't charge like everyone else charges.
Not even close.
Yeah,
not even close.
Like so, with our program, you get strength. We started in November. At the end of November, you get strength and conditioning for a month, and then in December we go into skill training to get the high school kids ready for, because at the end of January they start their high school practice. So we get them ready skills. So by the time they start high school, they're in it, right? We get all the summer. You get your uniforms, you get all summer, and then you get 7 individual lessons for the price of the same price or cheaper, $1,000 cheaper than you're paying for these programs that you only get uniforms and go play in tournaments. I'm doing a 9-month program for that price. That's development. That's what Truth is about, and that's what we want to keep going on that. But it's crazy.
I'm gonna go to one more break. After the break, we'll come back, and I'm gonna do a little lightning round with some questions, some fun stuff, and then we'll end up from there. But we'll be back in just a minute. Looking for insurance? Schultz Agency is your trusted advisor for all things insurance in Texas. This is a family-owned small business specializing in life, commercial, and personal lines insurance options, and they also offer Medicare. Schultz Agency is licensed throughout the state of Texas and is appointed with Farmers and many other great carriers. Call or text 512-540-8700. Schultz Agency will always shoot you straight and will never recommend anything that the owners themselves wouldn't do. Again, 512-540-8700. And tell them James Bill sent you by.
Full name?
Benjamin Eggert.
You go by Benji?
Yeah, Benji, Ben, whatever.
All right, Benji. Where you from, Benji?
Well, Texas, Houston.
Yeah, Houston, Texas. What high school you go to, Benji?
Clear Falls.
Clear Falls High School. So
Sir.
if y'all are wondering, Clear Falls High School right here. I've seen Benji play for a minute now. He's pretty good. Y'all wait till y'all see him behind the plate. Y'all gonna get some video footage. What do you think about Truth, Benji?
It's a great organization.
How you played in quite a few organizations over the years?
Yeah, I've stuck with Truth mostly. Been with Truth the longest.
And what group are you playing in with Truth during the normal?
18U.
Who's the
Coach Chuck.
Who?
Coach Chuck McElroy.
Chuck McElroy.
So
yeah, I just want to throw that out there to everybody. If y'all know who Chuck McElroy is, Chuck was a big leaguer for many years, and phenomenal human being, phenomenal coach, and great with the kids. And you learn a lot of baseball around him, and he does it without tearing you down.
Sir.
So great person. So, all right, Benji, we're gonna get some video on you this week.
Sir.
All right, we're back. Hope you enjoyed those commercials. I don't know which one they were. Whoever edited this thing for me probably put something that I didn't even know was there. I'm just kidding. I'm the one that edited this. But we're back, and I want to ask them a couple quick, fun questions. Obviously, you've had probably some good times over the years, and I'll ask the first question. Of course, not all of them will be about Coach Prime. You got a little one growing up right now.
Oh, yeah.
How old is he?
Kason is 2.5.
2.5 years old.
2 years, 7 months, actually.
And you have one that's 24?
I have a 24-year-old, 23-year-old, 22-year-old, and a 19-year-old.
You didn't have cable TV.
Hey, it's God's plan.
Yeah, God's plan. You coached Trey in baseball.
Yes.
Back in the day. And
Shiloh, Shador.
Mm-hmm. You got Coach Prime's boys.
Mm-hmm.
Today,
Mm-hmm.
you got a little one coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Kason, and you're at the point where you're starting to see him swing a bat. He wants to throw the baseball around all the time.
Yeah, he's hitting.
He's doing all the things that
He's hitting overhand. I throw it overhand, he's hitting already.
My biggest question for you,
Mm-hmm.
and this is for the parents that are out there.
Gotcha.
What's going to be the difference in how you raised one in baseball and how you're going to raise this one in baseball? That's 20 plus years of difference.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
What's going to be the differences from coaching?
Patience. And I'm going to be honest. Y'all can't lie to yourself. I'm going to be honest. And not playing through him. I was so young at the time when I had Trey. I was in my 20s. And when he was coming up, I was, in my 30s or whatever. But I was still living my dream through him. And I didn't want him to have the nightmares that I call them nightmares. Have the nightmares that I had of dreaming of playing Major League Baseball and never getting the opportunity to, right? Or just achieving your goal in life, period. It don't have to be Major League Baseball, whatever life is. Just not achieving your goal and dreaming about it in your dreams and waking up and you're like, dang, I'm in reality. I pushed him too hard. I was really too hard on Trey and Christian as well. I was young, didn't have patience, and I thought that that's how it was supposed to be. With Kaysen, he's more fun. I have patience. The stuff I used to get mad at with the boys, I laugh with him. I'm not spoiling them now, but I just experience as well. Experience knowing that, hey man, sometimes you got to let off the brakes. Sometimes you got to be dad. You can't be coach all the time, and they have to want it he has to want it for himself. If Kaysen don't pick up a ball from 12 years from now, I'm not going to be mad. That's that's on him. If he don't want to do it, he don't want to do it. You went through it,
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So you can't, you can only make these kids do what you want them to do for so long. But they have to want it.
You're going to be, if right now, if he was going to be 12 tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
what is the biggest difference that you see in how the baseball world is compared to when Trey was 12?
Oh, toughness, discipline, structure, loyalty.
Big. That's a big one.
Commitment.
Yeah.
Hey, like we weren't even, and not really caring who you are. We never want, I'm being completely honest. We only looked at the schedule to see what time we played. We didn't care who we were playing.
Right.
We didn't care. We were playing ourselves. And I still try to have that model to the kids. It's just a different generation.
Right.
So the toughness is really the key. Toughness and loyalty.
It's funny you say that about the not caring about who you were playing, because obviously I've been coaching 29 years.
Mm-hmm.
And over the last 15, 16 years, I'll show up at the ballpark and not even know who I'm playing.
Yeah, that's how we were.
And I'll have the book in my hand or my phone in my hand, and they'll say, well, one of the parents, it's always a parent. They'll walk up and they'll say, I looked, and they're 3-1 or 14-2 on the season, and they're they got this kid from the majors, and they got 4 kids that are AAA, and I don't know how they've done this, and they'll throw this out there like they've done this huge, extensive research about one of these teams, and they've already told half of our team that.
Yeah.
So now half of our team is in the thought process of we can't win.
Yeah.
They've already, and I'm like, guys, if I walk into a room and the door closes behind me and a bear comes out, I'm going to rip his eyes out. I'm going to do what I can to defeat that bear so I live.
Yeah.
I'm going to do what I can. Don't mean I'm going to live, but I'm going to scratch and claw harder than he does to have a chance to win.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what his size is. I don't care how big he is. I don't care how little he is. I don't care how mean he is. I don't care if he just ate. I don't care.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah.
And so that's why I show up at the park with the mentality of they can suck. I'm going to beat them as bad as I can. They can be good. And I'm going to beat them as good as I can.
We're just going to play our game.
We're going to go play our game. And so it's funny that you say that, because that's really the 12 years of difference, or 12 years.
Yes, like it wasn't that much hopping around back then, 12 years ago. You know, now these parents allow it. They don't allow you to compete. So we don't have no competitors.
They buy into all these tournaments of, this tournament has these many colleges, and this one's got this showcase, and this one has that, and then you show up there, and there really aren't a lot of colleges.
No, and they're not even watching because they're just there for the money.
Or they're there for one kid.
Yeah, one kid. Yeah, you're right.
And then I, for those of you who don't know, I've been a scout for over 13 years now. I'm a former college coach. I was a HBCU coach at Houston Tillotson, and I have went to watch one player and never see another one. And it's not because I'm not looking for the other one. It's because that one player a lot of times is a pitcher, and he deals and does his job. And maybe the catcher I might see, and if the pitcher's good enough, that catcher's good enough to catch him, so it means that I might want to look at him too.
Yeah.
But if there's not a lot of ground balls hit, there's not a lot of fly balls hit, the other pitcher's dealing on the other side, it's hard to see other guys.
How are you seeing them? Yes.
It's really hard to see them. So I got to go see them multiple times.
Yes.
And a lot of them don't showcase very well. So I have to see them multiple times. So there becomes this process of, you have to find somebody that you can trust to develop and build your kid, help them get bigger, help them get stronger, help them move in the right direction, for that one day that they do get seen by somebody or stays around and watches them, that they're prepared, right? My wife always says, success is when preparation meets opportunity. Okay, and so I see, and you say, there's so many guys that jump ship. They jump to the next, next, right? And they think that, well, this is greener over here. This is greener over here. And the truth is, when you see a team that's got 13 or 14 kids on it that are winning big tournaments, they're usually from places all over.
Yes.
And they're usually stacked in together. And they usually have 4 or 5 or 6 other teams just underneath there that those people are jumping to and staying with for a short time till they find out, well, my son's not getting playing time.
Yeah.
Let's go to another one.
Let's go to another one. Let's not compete for this. Oh, no. We don't want to compete for this. Let's just go somewhere else where you could just be given the job. That's that's ridiculous, man. So that's where the competitive nature is gone. I mean, not for everybody,
right?
But for the majority of it, yes. And I mean, just because you allow them, and man, people are different. Like, I'm not saying it's in every case, because some people just don't like a coach and this and that. But if you're 12 years old and you've already played for 4 different teams, that's a problem. Like, y'all are the problem. You can't. The common denominator is you.
So my podcast is called "Unite the States of America Through Sports." If there was one thing that you could tell a minority parent that is an individual parent, a mom or a dad, they're divorced, or maybe they're split up, or maybe they're divorced and they still work with each other, or maybe it's just a single mom, right? If there was one thing that you could give to an inner city minority kid, him and his parent or parents, for advice on how to beat the system that's so expensive right now, where they can't afford to play in baseball, these big tournaments, but they want to, what would be the biggest advice that you tell?
It's a tough one, because it's so priced out.
Yeah.
I mean, you can give them all the advice in the world. I mean, but that advice don't equal the money. You know what I mean? Like the money that that you have to, even if they're paying for free, or not, don't want to say that they're getting scholarship. You know, they're getting the opportunity to come. You still have to pay for hotel expenses, eating expenses, and you're losing money because you're not working.
Yeah.
So it's a loss. So whereas you go into football, you don't really have to do that because it's not that expensive. Basketball, I'm not sure. It may be around, but I don't believe it's as expensive as baseball. And on top of that, the skill, you have to pay. You have to pay for the skill level because if you're playing a top level, you can be talented as you want. You still have to be skilled, right? So I guess the best advice I would give is make sure they're skilled. Make sure your kids are skilled, and to do that, you don't necessarily. They have YouTube now.
Yeah.
So you can follow a major league instructor, infield instructor, or outfield instructor, pitcher, catcher, whatever. Follow them on YouTube and do the same drills at your house.
Yeah.
I would just say like show them the way to get better. You just have to be more skilled. They have to stay skilled.
No,
That's the advice. That's the advice I would give because of course we have talent. Of course we're fast, we're big, we're strong. But at the end of the day, are you skilled?
Right.
And it takes money for the trainers and all, but some people think it takes money for that. But if you really want it, you can look on YouTube, like I said, with the major league instructors and do your timing drills, everything on your own.
Right. Yeah, that's great advice. I can tell you from a scouting standpoint, a lot of times I show up, I see the big, fast, strong kid that's running out there. And it's not always a minority kid, an inner city kid. I've seen some kids from backwoods country that trailer park type, and that's kind of my background, right? So trailer park type kid that didn't have a lot of money when they were a kid. Mom and dad divorced. They, later on, one married and they both had a good income together, and then the other one built his business and came up. And so as I got older, I had a little opportunity to have a little bit more money and if I needed a glove or whatever. But I had the same glove for 8 years. Nobody bought me a new glove.
No, that was our mojo though.
Yeah, that was yeah, you're right. It was. I had the Noah Ryan glove, right? And so
I had the same Wilson forever.
But remember, we used equipment that was in a bag that was under the press box, and we had to get there and get the key to unlock it to get out the big green duffel bag. Yeah, man.
We were duffel bag boys.
With the green Easton,
Shout out Lil Wayne. We were duffel bag boys.
We were duffel bag boys.
Shout out to Lil Wayne.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And we had, and you bust out the green Easton and the helmet that was missing an ear pad in one side of it. Or whatever, you know what I mean? And
foam all ate up.
Yeah, that was what that's who we were. That's how we were. And now everybody's got this $450 bat, and it's two of them and two wood bats, and they got.
I'll tell you something else. Coach Prom told me growing up in Fort Myers. I have a lot of stories, but he told me one particular story. Like they didn't have it like that, but they loved to play baseball. Yeah. So they would go in a lot like Sandlot, and people would drop their gloves. Like if whoever had they would just. They have gloves, but everyone didn't have a glove.
Yeah.
So people would just, after 3 outs, they just drop their gloves and the other one would go in there and pick it up. Yeah. And now, like you said, like you just got to saying, man, they got $500 bats, 3-4 gloves.
But take it a step even further. How many baseball fields do you know across the state of Texas right now where guys can even get on it and practice on it and do anything they want to on it on the weekends without somebody having a lock on that gate and telling you to get off of it?
Yeah, you're right.
It's because it's become such a money-making machine that it's divided that part of our world as well. And so, you hear these, that's the difference with football.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I didn't think about that.
That's the difference with football. You can throw football in the yard. You can throw football in the street. You can go play football, touch, two below, whatever, right?
Yeah. Just tackle a man with the football.
Same thing with basketball. You pick one goal in the front yard, pick up. When I grew up in the country, we had literally where we played basketball at in the yard was about 4 to 6 inches lower than the rest of the yard. and our 10-foot goal was 10'6" because we had wore it down so
Yeah, I got
heavy
you. I
playing,
feel, yeah,
right?
yeah.
And we learned how to dribble on dirt.
So if you could dribble on
You
dirt,
had skills.
yeah.
Yeah. And we're shooting on 10'6" goal, right?
Hard.
Yeah. And you learn how to control the ball, because if you took off running too fast, you would slide under the wood fence where the barbed wire was at and eat your legs up. So that was and that's why Larry Bird was such a good ball handler. He grew up the same way in that type of situation, right? And so there becomes this point, you look at a baseball field, you can't take a baseball bat out in the yard, out in the road out here in this neighborhood and hit home runs out in it. You're busting windows and everything else, right?
Yeah.
So it becomes this deal. And in throwing baseballs, you can't just chunk a baseball 100 miles an hour or 80 miles an hour out across the field in these neighborhoods. You bust stuff. So there's nowhere to play the game like like there should be.
That's right.
And same thing with being able to afford the game, to go watch it. If you want to take your family right now to a ball game, MLB wonders why their prices are down, right? NHRA, that's the drag racing, right? National Hot Rod Association. NHRA, their prices are down. I mean, their crowds are down. I went to an NHRA event earlier this year, and literally, I paid for a ticket, put me in the middle section of the bleachers. On Friday night qualifying, which is the baddest of the baddest. You got the top fuel cars running. And it's the craziest thing you ever see in your life. It's unbelievable. I looked down, and there was 4 rows, at least, all the way down to the starting line, with nobody sitting. And all of that was like this on a Friday night qual. Man, I walked straight on down with my little cheap ticket down all the way to where the starting line was and watched from the starting line. And thought to myself, no wonder all these parks are closing down. No wonder they don't have, because no one's paying for it, because it was $52 a person.
No, ain't nobody
to go sit in the stand in a general admission. And so when you do that, we grew up where you pay $7 to go to the Astros.
Yeah, we was 5 with the Rangers. Y'all, we wasn't that good. We wasn't as good as y'all.
We weren't that good, but we weren't very good either for a minute.
We had aluminum with $5. You could sit anywhere in the outfield. And they had the aluminum bleachers.
Yeah.
And my grandma and granddad used to take us $5. We used to go, like you're saying, like I don't think kids do this. Like we used to go, if there was nothing to do on the weekends, we'd go to the Ranger game. Baseball, because it was cheap. We could. $5.
My brother had a 65 Chevy step-side. Nice truck. Motor. Everything. And we used to get in there and we'd go to the game.
Yeah.
Go park.
Yeah.
Pay $5 a park, go in, pay $7 for a ticket, sit in the outfield bleachers.
Yeah, that's what we did.
Hot doggers, dollar nights.
That's what we did.
We had all that stuff, right? And now, in order to take a family for a weekend game, you, your girl, your kids, you literally, and eat and park, you literally are spending the money you would spend on a vacation. So how many times can you do that a year?
Right.
Because most people can't spend but 1 or 2 vacations, right?
Exactly.
So when you look at that, you take away the kids growing up in the baseball park. They can't go play anywhere because there's nowhere to play. And they can't go to the field because you can't afford it.
You go a step further. What about the kids who don't have cable?
Yeah.
How are they going to even watch the game?
What about the kids that do have cable? And now in order to watch more than one game, you have to pay $195 a season for the MLB network.
That's another one. That's we had This Week in Baseball and Johnny Bench.
Oh yeah.
And Johnny Bench show.
Everybody, that was the show.
And we didn't have to pay for that.
What was we doing Saturday morning?
Watching the Johnny Bench show and This Week in Baseball.
When it was over?
Go outside. Yes.
To the park.
They don't have, and it's society's fault as well.
Yeah.
As for not having that, for taking it off regular TV.
Yeah.
Baseball's not on regular TV anymore.
Nope.
Channel 21.
Channel 20.
Yeah, we had 21. 21 was the Rangers.
Was the Rangers?
Yeah.
And then we had We had the cable that we had was TBS, so we watched the Braves.
Yes,
And
the
WGN.
Cubs.
We watched the Cubs, and
Cubs,
when the Cubs weren't on, the White Sox was on.
And the Cubs always had day games, so
yeah.
we really watched the Cubs because during the summer, spring break and things like that, they were playing. Yeah, they were playing.
Watching Ryan Sandberg. Watching Rhino, watching
Mark Grace,
Grace, and
Sean Dunston.
Sean Dunston. Andre Dawson,
the Hawk.
Yeah. I mean
Chuck McElroy.
Chuck was on there. Yep.
Shout out Chuck. Yeah, man. Palmeiro.
Raphael.
Yeah. Rafi started with the Cubs.
There becomes this point where again we start talking about the money side of it, the clicks, right? And so it's always been that way. And it's grown so heavy, it's gotten so deep now, it's gotten so far into it that the people that don't have anybody clicking feel like the only way they can be relevant is to say they hate people clicking.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And it's like, man, I don't say it is what it is, but the truth is to build that program, to build anything, you have to have notoriety. You have to say, this is where we're at, this is where we're going, this is where we're headed. Not one time has he said, Deion Sanders, who we're talking about, not one time has he said, we're going to win a national championship this year.
And who has he talked about?
No one. He ain't talk bad about nobody.
So yeah, I mean, y'all won, and it was by a large margin. Oregon, y'all won. It was by a large margin. But why would you even make that little comment?
Yeah, go another step further.
Why would you
even when they make the comment? His response is, "You've made it personal." He don't respond. He don't respond with, "Let me talk bad about your mama." Let me talk bad about. He don't respond
when Coach Prom beat Coach Dykes, did he say anything bad about him?
Nope.
Did he mention, this team was in the national championship? Nothing. No. He gave him his props. So, man, there's no reason. There's no reason to the glasses. My mom taught me to take my glasses and hat off. But in every interview, you have your hat on. So what the youngsters say, that's capping.
I don't care who you are. When your mama get named, it doesn't have to be your mama's name. When mama gets involved with it.
Why you could have just said I was taught.
Yeah. I was taught, because then it goes parents, teachers, society, right?
You still being smart about it. There's still something that shouldn't even been said. Because now you're lying.
Yeah.
Because there's multiple interviews with you having your hat on.
That's right.
So you're lying. So now you're not a man of your word. So what's that make you?
Favorite memory with you in prom?
I have a lot of them, man. I have a lot of them. I have one. That's a good one. That's a good one. I guess I can say we'll take this out of baseball was in it, but it kind of wasn't. We were going to Tulsa for that North versus Tulsa, Texas versus Oklahoma shootout. Remember they used to have that? Mm-hmm. They still have that? Not sure. I don't know. But we were playing in a tournament there, and we drove the van down there. I had my daughter, my son. He had his daughter and son, I believe. Boston and Shiloh, I believe. We get to Tulsa, Oklahoma, close to midnight. You hungry, dog? Yeah, I'm hungry, man. Wasn't nothing, man. We go through Krispy Kremes and get about 10 boxes of donuts. It just ate them donuts all night, man. My little girl loved it. I mean, we get to the hotel and all the kids are like, donuts. It's late at night, you know. There's another one. I mean, there's so many, man. There's another one. Sorry, Trey. My son was 12 years old, and we bumped heads a lot. and he was a true shortstop. And I kept saying it was a runner on first and second, and I kept telling Trey to move to the 5-6 hole, and he was like, "What are you shaking off?" That's going to be the difference as well. I mean, if they see something, let them see it. He was seeing something, and I was like, "What are you shaking off?" "No, man, get in the 5-6 hole. He's going to pull it right here in the 5-6 hole. Get in the 5-6 hole." He was like, and he kept creeping to the middle. And Prime was like, "Man, just let him do it. Just let him do what he do." Like, "Man, I can't wait till you're 18. Move out of my house." And Coach Prime looked at me and said, "What did you say?" I said, "Man, I can't wait till he moves out of my house. I can't wait till he's 18 and he moves out of my house." And Coach Prime laughed so hard. He said, "Man, y'all gonna be like Lamont and Fred."
Oh my God. That's great.
But as soon as he says that, the ball gets hit up the middle, line drive. It was no outs. Trey catches the ball, touches second base, throws it to first, triple play.
And looked at you.
He said, "See, that boy's a shortstop."
Yeah.
That was a good one. Yeah, but the Fred and Lamont one was, oh man. He
Yeah.
said, "Y'all gonna be like Fred and Lamont."
If there was any way right now, or if there was a step process right now to get hold of you and help you in growing truth,
Mm-hmm.
bringing on more funding
Mm-hmm.
for kids that can't afford it, what would be your goal with that funding? What would be your absolute path, your travel to say, this is where we're at right now, this is where I want to be?
As far as if I had the resources to do it,
if you had the resources,
I would do the same thing I'm doing now, but it'll be like more of a. I would do a little more of the one-on-ones and camps, but I would still do the strength. I would still start right now, November, strength conditioning. End of November to end of December, I would still do the skills. We train at an indoor facility that they bless us with. I get blessed with. I don't and I would still do the one-on-ones. The only thing I would do more would be more camps. I would try to get more major league guys in, guys that's been there. That way, because sometimes they get tired of hearing the same voice. But if they hear the same thing from a different voice, then they're gonna let how kids are.
mm-hmm.
So I would. That's mainly what I would still do. My same thing that I do as far as developing the kids. I would just open it up to everybody. It'd be opened up more. Because right now I really can't.
Yeah.
Because the resources aren't there for me to. But that would allow me to have the resources there for me to open it up more.
All right, lightning round. Lightning round right now. Favorite shortstop?
Derek Jeter.
Favorite leadoff?
Ricky Henderson.
4-hole.
Oof. Go back. We'll go back to that.
Pitcher?
Nolan Ryan.
Outfielder?
Ken Griffey Jr.
Closer?
Mariano.
Catcher?
Pudge.
Coach?
Or Molina. Pudge and Molina are like that with me.
They're good.
That's a toss-up.
I'm a Johnny Bench guy.
Mm-hmm.
I have to kind of step away from Pudge is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But knowing how him and Ryan
Yes, I got you. Yeah, I got you on
it's
that.
hard for me to make him number one.
Yeah, I got you on that. Gino Petralli caught Nolan Ryan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Pudge did too. But Pudge used to call outside fastballs when he wanted to throw down. And Ryan didn't like to throw outside fastballs. Coach?
Mm, mm, mm. I would Dusty.
Baker.
Yes,
Okay.
I would love to play for Dusty Baker.
4-hole hitter.
Was oh man, I feel like I'm missing someone. That's why. Cause oh my goodness. Mm. Shit, man. Oh, can't say that.
You good? You good?
Dang. You know who's? I don't know why this dude keeps coming in my head, man. Kaseko.
I mean, he was amazing.
Kaseko. I keep seeing 33. I like Kaseko. I like Poppy. David Ortiz. Shit. I like Gonzo.
Ballpark.
Haven't been to many. I'd have to say. Hmm, I gotta say my hometown,
Yeah.
Texas Rangers, the Global Life.
Global.
Mm-hmm.
If there was one job in the major leagues that said it's yours, what would it be?
Infield instructor.
So there you have it. TJ Jones with Truth Baseball. If you want to get hold of TJ, you can reach out to me. You can reach out to Truth Baseball. It's not hard to find. You can find on social media, Truth Facebook, and Truth Instagram, and
Email me truthbaseballacademy@gmail.
Truth Baseball Academy at
gmail.com.
If you want to help out, if you want to, Truth Baseball has a nonprofit. You want to help out with helping any of the kids, putting any money towards any of the kids, even gear. Gear is awesome. If you want to give away gear, if you have old gear, old gloves, old bats, anything. And when I say old bats, I mean usable bats still that are legal to use now. Not some old Green Easton, but some updated bats. If you have anything that you want to give, or if you want to become a sponsor, if you want to sponsor a team or sponsor a trip or anything like that, no one's telling you no. And it will go for a good cause. And what I do know, like I say, 1,000% with being around Deion Sanders and TJ Jones, being around these guys, the mindset is where it's supposed to be. The help is where it's supposed to be. The work is where it's supposed to be. The program is not a program that's out there running around saying we're the best of the best. It's not a program that's running out there saying that are stealing players. It's not what it's about. What it's completely about is kids that aren't getting the opportunities that should be getting the opportunities. They can't afford it anymore. It's done outpriced itself. It is there for them to come in and get those opportunities that they're not getting. So if you're interested, please reach out.
Yes, please.
And then obviously you'll meet TJ, and somewhere down the road there's an opportunity to meet Deion involved with it too. But I can promise you that the love and support and the drive that he has had and become successful over all his career is right here in this program in Truth. And it definitely will be, you'll be very, very happy, very pleased to either bring your kid in or help out with it.
I am my brother's keeper. So are you. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Well, stay tuned. Part 2 or second one coming up next week. Have a surprise for you for that one. Take it easy.
T, trusting God. R, respect myself and others. U, understand I have a limited possibilities. T, try my best and never give up. H, honor myself in the truth, period, at all times. 2 claps. 2 claps. Now give me 2 claps and a Ric Flair. Woo!
What you do is your business, and what I do is mine. Let's try to leave those dirty days behind. There's better days coming, but when I don't know. Now feels like a hard time, but it's all part of the show. So pick yourself up, breathe.